Oops, I totally forgot to turn my music on. There we go. Let's check the bit rates. Cool, everything looks good. While wait for people to join in, today I'm going to be continuing the Roughout for Night Harbor. I've gotten some more done since the last time you guys have seen this, but at work this week it's been midterm week, so I'm just constantly being, or my time that I can use to do this has been not as not as frequent. So kind of using some of the stuff from Goblin's initial pass on this. Need to get this kind of wall in here. I got these towers in last night, but carry that over as well. Maybe play with the dock, and then try to get this area at least ready for that. This music is really loud. Let me see if I can get this a little bit better. There we go. All right. But yeah, trying to maybe get the area ready for the dock. I think we're gonna end up scaling the dock area down, so because right now it's kind of taking up the entire fort. But gonna play around with that today. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? So let's kind of start roughing this in. Oop, and I, of course, closed my reference photo. I'm doing pretty good. Just been real busy this week with work. But other than that, doing well, all things considered. 3, 4. I duplicated that because I want to, without counting, see where the middle is. So basically, nice little cheat. Okay, so that's the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's the question. Do I want to have the wall here? Or do I want to line up more with those towers that where it was? I'll give it a little bit like that. Probably turn this edge into a tower of some sort anyways. So it makes sense that they would be able to shoot down at the people that are trying to get in through this way. So we'll move our stable placeholder. for now. Leave that there. Oh, my weather's finally getting nice here, but my skin is so dry still. I cannot wait for that to not be an issue. Okay. So move that. These towers on goblins. Oops. Oh, that's why, because I just moved that. On Goblin's sketch, or not sketch, his paint over are thinner. And are more, I don't know if I'd call them towers. They're more just kind of like, I don't know, like precipices of some sort, for lack of better words. So let's try something like this. They're a little bit tapered. So, essentially this is what I'm working on right now. Duplicate that. Move that there. And we'll move this over here because there's going to be Z fighting, I'm sure. Let's take a look. Hey Nick, how's it going? That looks pretty good. Let me throw... Oops, helps if I'm in. I'm just going to throw another vector color on these, just for contrast. That's good. Ugh. Up to anything fun today, or? Yeah, looks pretty good. All right, let's. Oops, let's fix this. Second. And we'll let's see, got bored last night, so had a little fun starting a new modular test dungeon. I think watching your stream has inspired me a bit. Oh, nice. I should really mess with Pro Builder a bit, but so much stuff to do, I don't have proper time to learn anything. I hear ya. Actually, I mean, Pro Builder is actually pretty easy to do. The big thing is, I think, getting the grid set up, which is not hard, but I don't know if it was really I don't know if intuitive would be a word I'd set up for that. But, you know, if you just go here and Pro Grids, turn that on, and then these are the settings. I use mostly when I'm doing like major walls and stuff, like a 1 snap, which is a 1 meter snap. When I'm doing stuff over here, like over here where it's larger, I've been snapping it by 4s. And you just hit the plus and minus keys to increase or decrease. But for walls, for thinner walls, I've been doing 0.25. Kind of normal walls, I've been doing 0.5. And then I've been doing 1 for, like, just thick walls. But, yeah, for the most part, it's pretty simple. You just gotta pick which part you want to select and then just drag it around. Nice. Yeah, I definitely would. It'll once you get used to it, it'll make your life a heck of a lot easier than trying to piece all those pieces together. Okay, so where was I? All right, we needed. There's a gate, but I'm not going to put it in here yet. And let's work on this terrain a bit, because I have really not touched this terrain. And it's going to be all kinds of wonky. But yeah, if you need any, need any pointers or anything like that, just let me know. I'm more than willing to help out. Alright. Got that. Oops. Suppose I should have it replay the playlist. Hey Lord Sacrum, how you doing? I was having such a blast with it. I stayed up to 4 or 5 a.m. I've definitely done that before myself. I did that semi-recently with this, with something in M&M. I just can't remember. My brain is so fried from this week so far, and it's only halfway done. Did you see the gnome racial video? Yes, I did. I saw a bit of it, and I was catching a bit of Sean's video, VOD from yesterday. I still got to finish about half of it. Every time, literally every time I tried to put headphones in to listen to a little bit of it during the stream, it was like instant bombardment of questions and stuff. So, hey Zukin. But no, I think that's funny that one, we have the wall hack. That's fairly classic, and then and then the wall jumps. I think what I'm gonna do is have these larger ones kind of like sticking out somewhat, and they'll become more like turret towers of some kind. Maybe round it off a little bit, like the images Ham had sent, but we'll see. Dude, it's insane. Just saw the gnome racial. Need to add a wall climb animation. The guys at Pantheon will get mad at us. Adding wall climbing. Alright. That looks pretty good. Let's... You know what? I'm going to do, again, I haven't touched this terrain a little bit. I threw some rock on here, but this is all, you can see it's still super, super rough. So maybe I'll play around a little bit with the terrain, which is probably not as exciting for everyone watching, but unfortunately it is something that needs to be done. The old WoW client back in the day had insane wall climbing. That was fun for a while. God, it was so long. I mean, I played during Classic WoW, and I played during bits of Burning Crusade. But again, I never got super into it like I was with EverQuest. But honestly, I don't remember the wall hack, or like the wall jumping hack. I'm sure I noticed it at some point. It just didn't stick to my memory. Super early on, you could like wall jump an entire entire Blackrock Mountain, and some other spots that you'd get out of bounds into unused zones and stuff. They nerfed it a bit, but it was still good in some spots until the end of Burning Crusade. So yeah, it was definitely around then when I played. Paytas, I got a question. If you were to change to Unreal, would it be easy? From my standpoint, for me personally, yeah, I'm more of an Unreal artist than a Unity artist. So a lot of the tools over there I know better, and I can actually do programming, especially like art side programming stuff in Unreal pretty easily. The conversion process would take time, but all this stuff right here can be exported out as an FBX, or not FBX, an OBJ, and then I could bring it into Unreal. So I could merge everything over and then, and then get everything set up pretty easily. Now, in terms of, other aspects of the game, primarily coding and programming, that might be a little bit harder, because I don't know all the dependencies and stuff like that with the code. I know, obviously, Unity uses C# and Unreal uses C++, but there is... was it Code Orchestra, I believe is what it's called, where you can actually use C++, or it's a plugin that lets you use other programming languages in Unreal, essentially. So you can use C# and is it Python? I don't remember. There's a couple different ones that you can potentially use, although I believe it's still kind of in a beta phase, and I've never used it because, again, I'm not a programmer. I can program, game functionality to some degree with blueprinting, and I can definitely do, stuff that like artists generally or level builders would like. I can make little level tools and platforms and material swaps and all that kind of fun stuff, and other stuff as well. But yeah, so I can only speak to my side of stuff, really. That was kind of a long-winded answer, but easy for me, time consuming to some degree, but not, it wouldn't be like starting completely from scratch. And then, yeah. I can't talk about the other stuff. Yeah, Ali would probably have not a fun time transitioning over for sure. BDC Retro. Again, I'm sure a ton of stuff would break on the programming side, so there would definitely be a setback. in terms of lighting and stuff, especially if it was Unreal 5, though, I mean, the lumen lighting is really nice, and it takes away some of the issues that we run into with the HDRP pipeline when it comes to lighting. So if you guys remember a couple weeks ago when I was doing mushrooms in Deep Dunes, where there was that kind of like blacky pixelated shadow that was happening, and it's happened on a couple other streams too. That's just because there's too many real-time lights hitting a space, and it used to be a problem in Unreal 4 as well, although it didn't do that. It did other weird things, but with Lumen you can do so much with lighting, and it's all real time, and it's got gorgeous like bounce lighting and stuff like that. So lighting would be great, but it's one of those things like, is it really worth it? I mean, again, personally, I love Unreal. But is it worth all the added time? And it's not like we're trying to do something that's, you know, realistic in terms of high poly, high fidelity models. So nanite, yeah, nanite would be, you know, nanite is good for optimization. Like, you can have super optimized meshes in terms of file size, and you know, it ends up compressing it in some way that basically all meshes are just one draw call, as opposed to, or all nanite meshes are one draw call, as opposed to like each of these, like, that's a draw call, that's a draw call, that's a draw call. So efficiency wise is great, but we're also not pushing the boundaries visually in terms of poly count, so there's really no benefit there. The deep will look awesome in Unreal. Oh yeah, that would, because the Fresnel lighting, or like the Fresnel on the mushrooms that kind of give it the nice little glowy edges, would actually affect the lighting and the bounce lighting. It would look awesome. If I ever have some free time, I might, just as a fun experiment, throw some of those mushrooms in an Unreal scene, in UE5, just to see how they look in Lumen. If I ever do it, I'll post it. I'll post the results in Discord so you guys can see. But with the pre-note right now, that if I did that, it's not necessary. It would not be like, oh look, we're transitioning in Unreal 5. It would just be like, hey, look at how cool Unreal 5's lighting is. So I'd have to say that with a pretext. I mean, I just said it, but I guarantee there'd be people out there being like, oh, they're going to Unreal 5. No, we're not going to Unreal 5. I would be super happy, but... Oh, Nick, I totally missed yours. I think more like it would kill Ali. I totally missed that. First time chat was deleted by moderator. I did not see that. Thanks for grabbing that, Zukin. I'm assuming, was someone trying to sell viewership? Yeah, figured. Thank you for getting that, Zukin. Hey Goblin, how's it going? Let me tell you, actually memorizing the hotkeys for this has made my life so much better. Not better, but faster. So I don't have to constantly be going over here. Just woke up. Nice. I've been up for a while at this point, but I had a bunch of stuff to do. I had to run to the grocery store and had to run to the mailbox, and then had to finish repairing some stuff at my apartment. It's been a busy yet productive morning so far. Oops, that did not do what I wanted it to. There we go. No. There we go. Or maybe not. I'm gonna match the scale here. I think I also need another edge loop here. Yeah, last night I was up way too late. Yeah, I bet. You see, that's going to end up being me next week, because even though this week has been busy at work with just, again, questions and grading and, yay, midterms. But, next week is spring break at work, so hopefully I'm going to have some time to do some extra bonus streams. We'll see how everything turns out, but I'm hoping to make up for me being burned out on Monday, and at least to get one bonus stream in. But we shall see. But I did see your the illustrations you were working on last night. I liked them a lot, actually. Let's group those. It's definitely been fun watching this zone come alive slowly. That's pretty good. Although maybe I should actually be using the other material on here. So I had done... Here, actually, it's over here. So I tested it out over here. Granted, this is, again, super placeholdery. But I did a variation on the material that MLS had made for us of the cliffs. And I brought it into Substance Designer and did a process on it that allowed me to kind of like break it into strips and kind of slide it around, and they're kind of jagged strips, and then I just brought it into Photoshop and painted over it to make the cracks read a little bit better, because it messes up the seam pretty bad. And then applied the color to it. But been using that for kind of like the seawall type stuff. So I may end up switching these, like at least the sides of these to that at some point. But for now, we'll just keep it this way. Alright. Make these more cliff-like. Oh, do I have high or select hidden? Oh, did not want that on. So Nick, that zone you were working on last night that you were talking about, what were you thinking about thematically for it? I haven't even looked at it. I didn't realize you had worked on it until you mentioned it earlier. It's like an indoor barracks kind of thing. Cool. I'm going to populate it with an actual NPC faction from our lore. Nice. Enemies will be humans. Dropping beans. We still have some beans in, but they are slowly going extinct. For instance, if I log on my Paytas Ranger character, he is still a bean because we do not have wood elves in the game modeled yet. It's just a fun test project. Maybe it will serve as an inspiration for a zone, but I wanted to get a new test dungeon online for a different level range. Cool. Yeah, I am looking forward to diving into doing some dungeon work myself at some point. But again, still in the midst of a giant city. These city zones are going to take a bit of time. But I mean, it's definitely still coming together pretty quickly to some degree. I just wish I had more time this week to invest. Tesla zones, something different. And something different to look at and different enemies to fight. Also, I'm having a 4x4 piece instead of an 8x8. It's kind of scale experiment as well. We'll see. Yeah, I've been modeling the human structures 4x4. Well, 4x4 is like 4 high and at least 4 wide is kind of sections of walls. Speaking of, I was thinking this morning, do we want a Jackal NPC, or do we want a Jackal NPC anywhere for whenever I get to finishing that model and need to implement it? Yeah, LOL, I figured I could provide a little bit of value there while you and the rest of the crew are deep into Night Harbor. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things that even if, you know, if it's in a rough state, I can go back in and clean it up. Like the current Fallen Watch zone. And even expand upon it, too. I was tempted to do some expanding on Fallen Watch when I was doing it, but I did not. We have a Jackal NPC in the database. Higher level enemies like teens or different types? It has capsules right now. I'll need to add them. Spawn tables, but trivial. I'm assuming BDC Retro's question... Oh, yeah, it was directed at Nick. It was a reply. So I will let Nick answer that one. Alright, so here's where I need to start actually kind of planning a little bit. Because this area is going to kind of go inside this structure a bit more, so I kind of need to extend this. So push these down. But another thing that might not be a terrible idea for me to do is just give myself the edge loops I'm going to use. Oops, I don't want to go by 8s. Let's go by 4s. It's 2 stories, 3 stories, 4 stories, which is basically right where I initially put it. Yeah, we'll leave it there. And then let's give ourselves another edge loop. Shoot. That is slanted. Actually want that to read straight. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is getting rid of these walls and using the walls of the keep as the wall, like the you know, the walls of the keep will be the walls of these sections essentially. So like, oops, that has a, hold on. Let's clean this up because it's getting all jumbled up. Let's see what Nick said. So I was thinking about making the current test dungeon, aka Fallen Watch, more low level because it's going to be in the newbie yard dungeon. Yeah, it's gonna. The idea is over here is where it's gonna go. So the range needs to be slightly lower, and then the new dungeon will be a bit higher, like a high single early teens maybe. Different types of enemies too. It was inhabited. It will be inhabited by humans. The question is, are they evil humans? Or are we messing up our good faction? Why is this being strange? Son of a... Come on. There we go. Messing up our Night Harbor faction, I'm thinking nice. But also gaining other factions. on hidden selection. There we go. Cultists that visit your shrine in the sewers. Yeah, we'll have to figure out where we're going to incorporate that, that cavern area. The nudist, robe cultist, had vanished, though, last time I was down there. I think he got embarrassed from us calling him out on stream. Yeah, there was a, on my stream, like, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, I ran down there for something, I can't remember what, and there was a robed cultist, but it didn't have any armor on. He was just standing there in his underwear. So we all got a little bit of a laugh out of it. And then called him out for clearly not being a robed cultist. When he wasn't wearing anything. Let's make that 4. And I have... Yeah, because we want this to be a little bit of a whatchamacallit. And then this tower over here... This and this will probably be either combined or made so that you can walk around in this one and then transition into this one. Would explain Zukin's focus on gnome bulges last night. It's a dirty job, but someone has to do it. Okay, so you got that. Let's give ourselves... we can make this deep. Man, this... Sometimes you forget how gigantic this zone actually is. Let's bring this back. Bring this up to 0.4. God, we got so much space in the zone. Oops. I did not. No, I did. Oh, I see what's going on. I still have... Nope, let's turn off the water so I can actually see what's going on. Delete that face. And we'll delete the rest of the bottom faces because they're going to start getting in the way now. Yeah, it looks good. And then we don't want that face there either. Okay. So let's bring back our water. And bring back my concept. Maybe I don't want that edge. Maybe I do want it that. Okay. So let's play with this a bit. Again, this geo had all been super roughly just kind of pushed around. There was no thought behind it, so it's pretty janky at this point. So it's going to need some TLC. these ones forward a bit. I want to have a little bit of thickness to the city wall here. We can have like some sort of passages going on, but I do want to extend this dock area out just a pinch. Oops. Did I do that as an extrusion? Because I did not mean to do that as an extrusion. Okay. What did I do? Oh boy. Hold on. And down. That fixed, and that fixed now. Okay. Not quite sure what I did there, but that kind of stuff can happen if you're not paying attention. Okay. Crisis averted. Alright, so let's clean this up into more of a ramp. Where is my vertex? And I need another vertex. Where are you? Let's bring these inside the wall, too. See, this is one of the nice parts about using ProBuilder for this, is I don't have to just push up and down on the vertices to get this stuff. I can kind of model it to some degree, which I think kind of fits our aesthetic better than just the traditional kind of up and down height maps that a terrain will use. Space so you can walk around that. Although that's probably a lot. I mean, that's going to be a lot of space, but that will feel like a decent amount of space. Oops, and I still have select hidden on. Oh, come on. Okay, we're just going to switch to select edge. I'm not sure how deep our boat is gonna go, but I do want to make this look kind of somewhat believably deep. That large boat can come in here too. Because right now it's only 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's about 2 stories in depth. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. There we go. You didn't get to run away from me, or you don't get to run away from me, sir. Hey, Rediger, how's it going? I'm glad I actually had a little bit of time to actually do a stream today. I was a little worried for a bit, but I got the stuff I needed to get caught up on. But next week, you guys hopefully will get some bonus streams of content. Obviously Eminem. I might even do like a gaming stream or something just to unwind, because after midterms or finals week, it's always nice to have a little bit of relaxation in some manner. Good sitting in the office, working and watching you. Enjoying it? Nice. Oops, and I deleted the bottom of that, so this is going to be fun. Let's just turn on select hidden. Oh, come on. Oops, I have it way undersnapped. There we go. Better. Have you folks decided to rebuild all the zones from scratch in Pro Builder? Yeah, I'm fairly positive that's what we'll end up doing. Is going back through it and rebuilding them. Some of the zones will end up coming together really quickly, and some of them we need to do. We're kind of in the background, have started talking about what the other zones are, how what the changes we want to do for them. I did it while I was at work, and I'd started playing around with new terrain for Death Valley, and it is much much larger. But I was running into issues because I was using my laptop that I got through work, which is, I mean, it's a decent enough laptop, but it's using like a Quadro and like a really low end Quadro, which are not great with game engines. But I was running into some issues. I just need to take the time and get it set up take the files that I was putting in, get them set up on this computer, and then push them out to get the update in. But right as I was about to do that, is when we got the new reworks. So that kind of changed how or what the priorities were. So eventually that'll get reworked. I already reworked what is currently Fallen Watch, which, like Nick said, may end up being more of a newbie dungeon zone. So that has already been reworked. Now, do we make any changes of the layout or anything like that? To be determined. But the geo has all been completely replaced, minus the ladders. I still need to eventually make some ladder models. But yeah, so we'll do that, and then I need to go into Fallen Pass at some point and take a look at it and see what needs to be done in terms of cleaning up the geo, and then you know, we need to populate it with camps and stuff like that. I know Sean was talking about like one part where he was thinking like a Nashira camp or something like that up kind of towards Fallen Watch, which is, it's just kind of a big flat area. So set dressing type stuff, and then you know, probably going in and reworking parts of the geo to kind of, so everything kind of feels like it's coming from the same aesthetic and the same approach. But beyond that, the only other one we have is the Twilight Isles. I think that's what it's called. Trying to throw it together pretty quickly. But it's like our Ocean of Tears style island level or zone. And I'll have to take a look at the terrain and see if that needs to get cleaned up at all. Oh yeah, and Deep Dunes. Deep Dunes, we're talking about. Yeah, Deep Dunes was built in Blender. All the other zones were built in Blender. And they've been slowly being converted into Pro Builder built zones over time. Like this zone pretty much is everything in it except for these, which were made. These were made in Maya. And they're going to be reworked at some point to be more versatile, I guess, would be the good good way of doing that. Well, do I not? Hold on. Adjective Beaver, thanks for the follow. I did not get a sound. Do I have... Hold on. Do I have... muted? I may have my alerts muted. I apologize. I didn't notice that. And Nick, thank you for the second month of the subscription. Muted? That's unmuted. I don't know why I did not hear sounds. Apologies to both of you. But yeah, Deep Dunes was built in Blender as well. We will probably rework that zone entirely and play around with the layout a bit. And then play around with the you know, like the shrooms and the colors and where they all are and stuff like that. Have you... Alright, I already read that. But yeah, that's kind of the game plan. And let's turn off select hidden. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a test real quick since I'm on the stream anyways. I have a... Where is it? I thought I had a test alert button. Did I get rid of it? Oh, there we go. Apparently they are muted. Hold on a second. There we go. Was that me? I guess that was a delayed one from me hitting the test button. Some pro level streaming going on today. So this kind of goes into a bit of a landing. We kind of already have this here. Part of it is because this is pushed like in like that, but I don't know if I want to push that in that far. Okay, so this will be a landing area. Let's bring this closer to our... And again, this stuff's super rough, so keep that in mind for anybody who's new. Haven't seen any new names pop up in chat today, but if there is anybody new, we are currently in the process of reworking our city zone for our proof of concept, which we are currently building. And we are building a indie MMO that is really inspired by the classic kind of first generation MMOs. So you think your EverQuests, your Ultima Onlines, things like that. EverQuest being a fairly big inspiration. Consider deep dunes in a rough out stage. Yes. Exactly. I have a feeling it'll get a decent amount of reworking in terms of the layout of it, so that it still kind of has that outdoor feel, but maybe has some more like sectioned off areas and kind of corridors and stuff. Because it's actually it doesn't quite look it because there's just so many like really dark corners, but it's actually a pretty open zone. You can just kind of like run around in it for the most part. There's only one area that's kind of really its own little space. Yeah, I think Sean said he flipped it upside down or something. Yeah, he had taken Deep Dune. Oh yeah, Nick already said that. It's actually Shaded Dunes Geo flipped upside down, and then some extrusions and points like that picked up. Yeah, I think Sean and I are going to probably be down or doing more rough out stuff, so when the art crew gets to it, they can refine our ideas. Yup. Which also makes it so I don't have as much on my plate. Which is nice. Not that I don't like doing that kind of stuff, but there is lots of zone stuff to do, for sure. So the more people we have playing around with the zone stuff, the faster everything can be iterated on. I don't think Shaded Dunes has been shown at all, right? Wait, how did I get VIP? A lot of you that have been here since I started streaming, that were frequently on the channel, when I got all that fancy stuff, I gave out a bunch of VIPs to people. And then I know there are some people that don't like to necessarily talk a lot, but, you know, like to hang out. So in the arrow point things for the channel points, there's a VIP badge tier that if you have been hanging out for a while and haven't been talking a lot, and you want the VIP badge, you can spend your points on it. That's if that comes with the disclaimer of if there's any available, because they're tiered to followers, I think. If I remember correctly, it's every so many followers you get another 10. So I currently only have 20 slots, and I think I gave 10-ish away, 10 to 12, for people that, again, were some of the first followers or are frequently in here chatting me up. Speaking of which, if anybody is watching this VOD on YouTube, and you want to participate in our chats here, remember to follow me on Twitch, which is Paytus the Ranger. And the link should be in the description somewhere. Well, you guys are really chatty, pretty chatty today. Paytus will you consider smoothing the pick of the dune, or the pick of the dunes a little so they don't look like 1999? I'm assuming you mean peak. What I'm considering doing is once the terrain is in a finished state, and I don't need Pro Builder. All right, I don't feel like I'm going to be using Pro Builder a lot on it. My idea is going to be to export it out, bring it into Maya, and in Maya I can set a degree parameter. So let's say like 30 degrees or 20 degrees or whatever. I think looks good, and I can just tell it to give hard edges to things that are at a certain degree and make everything else soften. So that was my initial idea. So that it is somewhat polygonal, so it's it has that that 99 2000 era feel, but maybe not every single triangle is a hard edge triangle. So it'll be more kind of more extreme ones that'll show up on. Right now there's gonna be some weird things as I'm moving this stuff around. Let me see if I can get one to kind of do it. So there's gonna be some weird just looking like stretching and stuff going on depending on the shape, and that's because I'm keeping this mostly in quads. There are some parts where I've thrown some triangles in, but once these things triangulate, they'll look the UVs will look a little bit nicer, and then when we bring it back in, everything will get triangulated. So yes and no. It's gonna be a little bit of trial and error, I think, with trying to get how many what is that sweet spot where it's kind of between soft rolling hills and areas and hard edge, real polygonal kind of throwback terrain chunks. So we'll see how it turns out, but that is the plan. Did someone misfire the VIP button? You get a VIP. You get a VIP. Well, a lot of everybody who's in here does have VIP so far. Is Ham going to be doing outlines for all the zones, or just the cities? I think what we will probably end up doing is maybe just do a general sketch of kind of what our idea is, and then there might be some freestyling from there. The cities themselves need to be thought through differently than an adventure zone, for lack of a better term. With that, it's just kind of like, okay, we want a couple giant forts, and do we want a river, or do we want some sort of dividing mountain or valley range or what what do we want? Kind of location wise, where does it fit for the lore? Is it in the north? Is it on the west end of the zone? Is it in the middle of the zone? And then from there, it'll be going in and roughing out those individual areas, based off of what the idea is. And then, probably, very similar to what Goblin and I were doing, which was essentially just kind of like setting up an image and then taking a screenshot. And he's been kind of doing, paint overs to a degree, just using the geo that's already there. But cities themselves will probably be more, some urban planning involved. And then, again, kind of going in and freestyling and seeing what we want to do with the space. Because 2D and 3D do not always line up. So you can have a really cool 2D design, but how does it translate into into that third dimension? So sometimes you need to kind of make some tweaks here and there, to that kind of stuff. Push that back. And I'm just going to combine those because they're so close to each other. Well, thank you. You're welcome. I think a mix, but with an emphasis on cities. If I had to guess, awesome. Sean and I probably want to mess around with overhead maps and layouts of outdoor zones and dungeons, and a bit more since they are strictly gameplay areas. That's not to say our cities won't have significant gameplay areas and combat content too. What is the VIP icon? Lord Sacrum, you have one too. It's just the little white diamond with the little pink around it. It's just one of the fun little things that us content creators get to give out to people in the community. So again, I went through when I initially got it, and when I initially got affiliate, which was like already over a month ago, which it's crazy to think that I've already been kind of doing stuff for almost 6 months on this, which is insane when I really think about it. But yeah, so yeah, I just kind of initially handed them out to people that had been here before I had affiliate, and were fairly active in discussions and stuff like that. But I think it makes sense to have a good mix of lore versus gameplay consideration. Yeah, definitely, Nick. Giants confirmed. Just kidding. We've had capsule giants for ages. Yeah, I say the giant capsules have been on stream. I think you even turned into one on stream once. Giant forts confirmed. There's a phrase that could have been attached to monsters and memories. Content king. Feels good, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, it does feel good. It's just crazy how quickly time has passed, and it's really crazy. Again, I've said this before on stream, like just how much work we've gotten done in the past couple weeks. I just feel like I've been slacking this last couple, well, at least on this project, I feel like I've been slacking this past week just because work. Need to hit like Mega Millions so I can just chill out here grinding away at M&M content. And by grinding away, I mean like building the content, not just running through the content we already have in the game over and over and over again. Wow, you guys are talkative today. Need to add a capsule illusion to my stream too. Oh, that would actually be a good one. My camera's so zoomed in I wouldn't be able to track my hands, but that'd be kind of cool if you get to have it track. I'd mentioned last night when Zukin had that in there, because I'd been thinking about once we had more of the races done, taking the heads and turning them into Snapchat filters in some way, whether it's like putting on like a texture for like deep gnome eyes and then like the nose part of the mesh and then like distorting lips and stuff like that, but playing with like Snapchat filters that one you could tie into the stream, but two could also be just kind of put out there for, you know, fun marketing type stuff. But I only looked into it a little bit because at that point we still only had capsules and the old Holt model. But capsule one could be kind of fun too. And then, you know, years down the line people would be like, what the heck is this? What is with these people in capsules? But the true OG M&M fans will know. I say that as I, you know, came into the project like a year into it. I think we're actually about 3 months away from the 2-year mark on pre-production. Oh, that capsule comment was Zukin. I don't know why. I thought that was Nick. That was a total dyslexia moment where I totally thought I was reading a Nick quote and not a Zukin quote. So all of that over the last 5 minutes probably was addressed to the wrong person. Which considers the forming of the initial team, getting started up, and writing design docs, etc. Oh yeah, all the fun stuff. Also the very first proof of concept. Yeah, I still can't believe I'm already been like 6 months when I was added to the M&M LinkedIn. Yeah, it's crazy that it's already 6 months since September. Late August. Something. It was late August or September is when I initially messaged Sean. I mean, I could probably go back in Discord and see what the exact date was. I have to go find the first comment. I feel dumb for asking, but what does POC stand for? Couldn't figure it out. Proof of concept? Ah, thank you. You bet. After watching everyone on stream last week, I sort of want Ham to just follow me around and give me constructive feedback all day. Yeah, Ham's got some real good feedback for sure. And obviously when it comes to like our lore type stuff, you know, he's definitely on top of it, way more than I am. since him and Sean are grinding away at that stuff. And he's far more articulate than I am, as I'm sure you all have already realized. I'm really, really good at tripping over my own tongue, which is an awesome skill for a teacher to have. But it's better when you embrace it. I totally am into like self-deprecating humor, so yeah, I guess we'll leave it like that. But yeah, Ham's always fun to talk to for sure. Have you made filters before, Paytas? I looked into it to do it, but sort of got sidetracked. I looked into it, like I said, I looked into it too. I have yet to do it myself. It didn't look too hard from what I looked at, but we didn't have anything like ready to go for me to play around with it. But totally, it's something I want to do as we get more of the character models done. I was also thinking potentially doing the skeleton, which is when I saw you do have that yesterday. For half a second, I'm like, is that our skeleton? And they're like, no, that's totally the classic EQ skeleton. But I think that would be fun. Actually, the initial idea came from when you had the glowing eye filter, like, what, 2 months ago at this point? 3 months ago? God, time is flying. But I was like, oh, that'd be so cool with deep gnome eyes. First time commenter got banned by Zukin. I'm assuming someone else was trying to sell me viewers. Thank you for mods deleting that. Yep. Thanks again, Zukin. That's 2 in 1 stream. That's a first. I just found that the first Eminem. I just found the first Eminem screenshot, August 29th, 2020. Posted it in general in Discord. Let me see. Let's go to Discord. General. There we go. The first screenshot from Eminem with the pixel. We actually have the same texture, but this is a way more pixelated version of it. And the Minecraft style torches. Okay, so we've got that. I don't know if I really want to start roughing in this yet. I feel like maybe starting to work into this area a bit would probably be safer. I feel like this stuff could change. I mean, ideally, I think what we'll end up having, again... Hold a second, I just noticed something. I still have a wall in here, don't I? Yes, I do. There it is. Goodbye, wall. Whoa. We have... I did not move these far enough in. See if I can get an angle where the... Ah, there we go. Now, does this affect in here? Not too bad. Awesome. May play around with that and give myself an edge here that I can push that in, but my idea, again, this is all kind of just off the top of my head type stuff, is these will be their own standalone towers. This should actually probably come off of here, or would it make more sense in the middle? These were just kind of randomly pulled up, I believe, during the stream that we kind of were working on the block out. So these are probably like gigantic, because we were trying to play around with the height and getting a little bit more height variation, which we're starting to get back here. I think we still need some like structures that are kind of popping more off in this area because it's feeling really empty right here. But as we kind of, you know, design more of this, you know, ziggurat styled, megalithic structure, I think there's going to be room for like little like obelisks or towers or something kind of popping up here and there that could completely break up that silhouette and make it feel better. But I think these are probably a little too high. But I think the idea is going to be the Garrison fortress will be here. These walls will be the fortress. This, like some sort of tower structure, whether it's this high or not, we'll be able to kind of, again, we're not actually doing siege stuff, but the idea behind the construction, the layout, would be like you'd be able to defend against, you know, this tower can cover a nice arc there, this tower could cover a nice arc there. You've got, at least with Ham's drawing, he had this kind of big circular tower, and Goblins didn't. Might figure out how to get some cooling tower stuff in here as well with this. Maybe play with that idea. But let me bring up Goblins other. What is it? What's it into? Other designs. So he had this design that had this cooling tower, but it was kind of a circular tower. I'm wondering if we can kind of build that into this structure as well. So you have, maybe it's not this gigantic, maybe it's a little bit lower, but you got this big, and that is not centered at all. Oh, hiccups, sorry. That's what I get for eating lunch before I stream. But yeah, you would have this giant tower that could rain arrows down kind of wherever anybody is, or artillery or whatnot. So again, you know, functionally we don't need it for gameplay, but I do like to kind of keep some like this functionally would work as a defensive structure when I block stuff out and design it. And I think, you know, we did a decent job of thinking that through that whole process on stream last Wednesday when we streamed on Sean's stream. Posted in general. Yeah, Lee was initially concepting a pixelated look. Hey Squid Pasta, how's it going? I'm doing pretty well. And then Zukin said, "What's up, Squid Pasta?" as well. I love that one. Yo Zukin, how are you? I'm just having some lunch. Well, that's it. I have to order lunch now that Squid Pasta is here, making me hungry. Actually, I could go for some calamari. I haven't eaten calamari in a while. The question is, what are you gonna order? That is a good question, Squid Pasta. Probably a Cobb salad or something. I am more of a Caesar salad fan myself. Now here is the question. Do we want these gates? Because these are super, super rough. I think I did these on the stream last time. And actually probably can turn these back to the same color. Vertex colors, and we'll just apply that one back. So, question is, do we want those to be the same? Let's bring up Let's see if... you can't really see much in Goblin's concept for that. So, are we going to want those to be the same, or do we want those to be towers? Maybe similar style, but towers, I think, would be probably pretty cool. That's 1 story up. Let's make these 2 stories up. So let me click off that. 4. There we go. So those are a little bit higher up. And then how wide is this? This is 4. So yeah, that's fine. Give ourselves a little bit of a taper. And we'll snap them to the 1 grid. Oops. And push that down. So something like that. I don't know if players will actually be able to get up here yet, but... let's do the same thing with our walls. Hold on a second. I want these walls actually... oops. No. Actually, no. We'll do it the way I was doing it initially. And I'm not thinking, and I'm using not using my hotkeys. So these walls can obviously change, but I'm just kind of giving the little like beginning of kind of a walkway parapet type feel to it. So let's delete this. Oops. I need to run to the store later and get some sandwich supplies. Actually, that's what I had for lunch. I had a grilled ham and cheese with some garlic. Gutter butter would be gross. Some garlic herb butter that I made, and then had some strawberries I got at Costco last week. And Costco had some gigantic strawberries. I mean, they were, I don't have anything here that's probably the right size, but they're probably like that big. Like you eat 2 of them and you were stuffed. So I had the last couple smaller ones, but I say smaller ones and they're kind of just like a normal size strawberry. And that was my dinner for the day. Or not dinner, lunch. Oh, I had a bag of Cheetos. Too. I need to run. Oh, yeah, I already just read that. Nice and healthy. I'm getting some food here soon as well. It's my cheat meal day, so I'm gonna grab a burger or something. Otherwise, I'd be getting some kind of salad. Don't let me fool you. I'm usually eating chicken or Chick-fil-A and burgers over here. Yeah, we eat a lot of chicken here. Whether it's grilled chicken or fried chicken or chicken tenders or stuff like that. Need to lose some weight. Yeah, I need to lose a little bit myself. I got into a bad habit of like just eating way too many carbs again. It like goes in waves. Like I get really good, then I get back down to like a nice weight, and then I make that mistake, and it just spirals back. But I'm at the point where I'm like, I really need to get out and exercise. But now that spring's coming around, I'm sure I'll be skateboarding with the kids more. This is looking really cool. You've been busy since the night. Yeah, actually, I can show some of the stuff. Let me save this. That I've done since then. So, Ham had actually I have him hidden. Turn the reference images on. So Ham had done some side and top views that are a little bit more refined from the initial district layouts. So kind of made this match up a little bit more with that. So as I push it back, still everything's really rough, but we have more of the layers, kind of like how he was envisioning it. And some of the areas I had to kind of figure out how to blend them in with stuff that was already there. So I kind of worked this area in for the necropolis. Let me turn this back off. So maybe these cliff walls and stuff will be moved around a bit and made to look more like cliffs. And then this area itself it's easy. I made it easily enough that I can just expand these walls out, but we have an area where the necropolis will go. Then we got bridge over here, a bridge that kind of takes you directly into what would be the second tier of the city. These areas will eventually need to. I'm going to do it real quick, but this isn't going to be right. But kind of made into walled-in sections of the city. And then over here, kind of built this giant stone tower up here, and then figured I liked the ramp that was already here. So kind of just making a nice little tunnel through here into this area. I still need to do more work over here and kind of blocking this out. I haven't really touched that since then. But there's still enough room here to kind of have buildings and stuff, except this one's kind of crushed over and I'm in the wrong mode, but general idea. So playing around with that a bit, and then I'm thinking this part up here would probably have a entranceway over here to get into that part. This area is probably just going to end up being a wall, if anything, because otherwise we're going to have to pull this over, and then you can't get to the tower. Or I'd have to maybe wrap the spiral the walkway around this tower, or have it kind of come down from here, something like that. So this, again, this is the point of blocking it out. You don't get too invested in anything because ideas come up and you change stuff. So keeping it low intensity in terms of mesh is really helpful. And apparently I knocked that off the edge. And then we've got this passageway that leads all the way down here. So yeah, just been kind of blocking that out. Played a little bit more around with this kind of stuff. So we got the hanging garden stuff here, I think. And again, Goblin's going to end up doing a concept on this, and these are super just roughed in shapes. This might not, it may not look like this at all. These were just kind of real quick representative shapes for like what a hanging garden would be. And it's entirely possible these are all kind of pulled out more like that, something like something along those lines. But I'm thinking maybe like some sort of entrance, and then the way to get up would essentially be this walkway, trying to tie that into whatever structure we decided to do here. The idea might not work, and we might just have in like stairs or ramps inside that kind of move up. But that would allow this portion, like this ramp type thing, to be easily built into this section, which would make sense. So we wouldn't have just kind of this weird cutoff here. Or again, we we've also talked about maybe this kind of wraps around. Maybe it doesn't come out as far here, but kind of just hangs off of here and wraps around in some way. So again, just a lot of iteration and ideas and stuff like that. I'm so far behind in chat. I apologize, guys. What is it? This is looking really cool. That was what I just read. Yeah, it can be tough to manage health, weight, sitting at a PC all day. Yes. It also has done a great job on my lower back. I really need to do more like core exercises for sure because my back is a mess. Actually, I'm at the age where my entire body is becoming a mess. I really shouldn't. I shouldn't sugarcoat it at this point. The weather is beautiful here today by me. Might go for a walk. It was pretty nice last night. Me and my one son were outside lightsaber fighting. It was like cool, but I actually like it cooler. So, but it's supposed to get up to like high 50s, 60s over the weekend, which is gonna be great. Get the last bit of gross looking snow, ice block pile things to go away finally, which would be great. I eat mainly chicken, some kind of fish. I need to eat more fish. I like fish. I just don't eat it as much. And I live on the Great Lakes, so there's tons of, like perch and stuff out here. And I do love me some perch and some walleye. Although I've never caught a walleye here. I have caught a ton of perch, but walleye still eludes me. I've been really cutting back on red meat because my numbers were were a little high. I cut back on red meat, although I say that and I have a roast that I was planning on making for dinner tonight. But I don't eat red meat as much as I used to, just because my probably about 10 years ago, my stomach just did not enjoy red meat. So I like it. I love steak. I just do not. I don't eat it nearly as much as maybe once a month, if that. It's probably more like once every 3 months I'll have a steak, if that. Because it's like rolling the dice. Is the deliciousness worth the gamble? Oh, that's cool as heck. I can't even get over how useful this that is. Are you talking about? I'm assuming you're talking about the layout, because I'm so far behind in my messages. But I'm assuming you're talking about how useful this was. But yeah, totally, it's super useful because yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, the reference is definitely useful. Everything's close like you can make everything close proportionate wise, and then make adjustments from there. But what I did initially was, made it to about the size of the original city, because I knew I liked the scale, and then I shrunk it just a pinch because I knew we wanted to not down res, but downscale it. And then everything's just been tied to there. And then all of the numbers that we kind of figured out for scale factored into it as well. Sorry, I keep finding hiccups. It's 56 here and mostly sunny. It's mostly sunny here, but I think, what is it? Of course, my phone's gonna not go to what I want it to go to. About 45 here right now, which isn't bad actually. I don't mind 45. I don't have to wear a winter jacket. I could just wear a hoodie, or like I'm wearing a sweater right now, and throw a windbreaker on, and I'm fine. 77 here and sunny. See, 77 is about my limit on heat tolerance. You get too much above that, like you get to 80, and I can deal with it. Although I if I'm in like a desert climate, I guess it's better. But 80 here usually is somewhat gross, thanks to the humidity from the lake. So yeah, I'm definitely a cold weather person. Although I'm cool weather person, I guess would be the best way to describe myself. Um, I've never been a big fan of meat, other than chicken. I'm at. I have learned to try everything, so I'm more adventurous than I used to be. But I do like most meats. I've even tried like alligator and other weird meats here and there just to see how it tastes. But which, by the way, if you ever have not tried gator, gator bites are delicious. Um, Still worth living out here. Just wish the housing market would settle down. I'm not paying $1 million for a starter home out here. Yeah, I don't blame you. That's weird. What's going on? There's a glitch going on there with the water. To see if it's doing that in game too, or if it's just an editor thing. But yeah, no, the housing prices have been crazy. For a while. Although I actually live in one of the cheaper areas in terms of housing in the country, which I guess is kind of nice, but still, completely agree there that the prices have been absurd. I think what I'm just gonna do is delete these, so this opens this whole area up for actually, we'll delete them first, then we'll fix the holes that I'm about to put in the world. Delete these so that we can do whatever we want inside of the fortress. Delete. Yeah, here, that's a big drawback. Yeah, I can't imagine having to deal with some of the housing prices in certain areas of the country right now. Or the rent prices, even. But eventually I would think, granted I'm not an economist, but I would imagine it'd eventually calm down. And some of those prices will potentially come back down to earth so that normal people can afford houses. That are, like large hedge funds like BlackRock will just own all the real estate and we'll all be renting. I don't know. Alright, so we got that. What's going to be annoying is trying to do this on those like the... Actually, I don't need to do it on here. I do need this over here. These ones at an angle are going to be a little bit more annoying because I could kind of make things follow like the normal to a degree, but like I can't edge slide as far as I know with Pro Builder, which is a little sad. If anybody in chat does know of like a hotkey to edge slide, that would be lovely. Do share, but I cannot find any hotkey to allow me to just slide down edges, which when you have when you're kind of following a cardinal direction or an axis. It, I guess, is really what you'd want to call that. But that makes it nice and easy. But when it's at like a weird curve, it makes it a little bit more difficult to make edits when you can't follow the edges. And YouTube has stopped playing my music. Well, not my music, Robert's music. Yes, I'm still here. Do you know if we're completely redesigning the front gate or Marie's concept still planned? I think me and Goblin had initially discussed that a little bit. I don't know if there's a consensus on if we wanted to completely redo it or like borrow some of those ideas and bring it into the new layout. My hunch would be, where is it? Where are you? Because it's such a, you know, basically that, I mean, we're already kind of doing this, you know, shape right here. And then, you know, we could use a similar shape for this. The only thing is it's now, you know, kind of separated. So this is over here, this is over here. And then there's the Garrison one. The Garrison gate is over here. So I think what we'll end up doing is a little bit of taking elements from it and just kind of moving it to make it make sense with the new layout. But I think that was one. Actually, I think one of the screenshots, if Goblin's still in here, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that we set up for him was something similar to this, so we could get a nice look at the skyline and then what the, you know, what the gates would look like. But my initial thought would be to say that we are probably gonna just take elements from it and then make it fit into the new design. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I think it can work. So get that. Let me finish these walls. Did I get this one? Yes, I did. Alright, so let's see if I can get this to work over here. Okay, that worked easily enough. Can I select the other one? Yes. That's pretty good. And again, I don't know if we'll ever let the players up onto these. And by saying let on, like, intentionally let people get onto them, I'm sure people will find creative ways to get to areas in cities. I would frequently do that with POK. See what buildings I could get to by getting to the highest point and like levitating and all that fun stuff. So I'm sure that type of urban exploring will happen. Was this would be like a smaller fort. Overwatches the foreign traveler district. Gives them some protection. Yep, I decided to play the Eminem playlist today that Robert posted. You need to add that to your stuff too. What, Zukin, what do you use for sound? What do you play it through? Because I'm lazy and pretty much just do it straight out of YouTube, which obviously causes issues at times, but whatever. Oh, I still need to go in here and put play with some of these some of this geo. Like these roads are just floating so high right now, it's ridiculous. Your characters can't run around. And then we will. Oops, let's fix this. Since this is what we were working on today. Last night I was running around Fallen Watch with no lighting except my torch with Robert's Fallen Watch track. It was extremely spooky. That's awesome. I think, didn't you post a video of that? Where you were the ogre walking around in the dark? I think I half looked at that on my phone when I was running errands this morning. I use my Plex server, just stuff music into a playlist on there. Ah. I didn't notice because I was looking on my phone, Nick. Did you have did the skeletons still have their eye emissives on? Because I could see that being pretty creepy, walking around with just glowing eyes and stuff. That is weird. Are you guys having this issue too? With the water, where you get this like weird like L shape that doesn't render? No, some reason they weren't working. Oh. You need to look into the eye thing? Or you need to look into this. Is it just... No, it's the deep water and the... I haven't seen that. But didn't look good enough either. I will have to check. I may just need to update my graphics card drivers. I thought I had it up to date, but now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't checked it like 2 or 3 weeks, so maybe my graphics card drivers are messed up. But I don't ever really notice that before, or noticed it that badly. I think I've seen it flicker once or twice, but that is obnoxious. Let's see. I'm getting close to the end of the stream anyways. Let's hop over and take a look at this in-game. Gotta head back to work, Squid Pasta. Thanks for the stream. Later, dude. Later, man. Have a good day. And I'll catch you on another stream. I think human was the one I had in here. Oops. Almost forgot to turn that stuff off. Goodbye reference images. And old Geo. You are still all rendering. What the hell? Okay. 7 a.m. Why are these not going away? Okay, I am not sure why that is not hiding for me. I'll have to figure that out later. That's working. Let's bring this back to full screen. That works pretty good. I wish the Gia would hide when I hide it, but whatever. Here's a question for you, Pedus. I have an interview for an associate designer position on Monday. Do you have any tips for me? Tips for interviews. You know, go in, obviously, you know, get there early, that type of stuff. The normal interview stuff, you know, make eye contact, try to be articulate, you know, be prepared. I always try to prepare myself for those, like, really weird questions, that they might ask, you know, like, you know, you get those, like, what is your weakness, that type of thing, and how do you answer that, but then turn it into something good at the same time. But I don't know. Interviewing is always one of those things for me that it's kind of hit or miss, to be completely honest. But I handle them, you know, similar to I do with you know, any type of interview for anything. is just kind of, you know, try to present yourself as confident to some degree. Obviously, you know, they know you're going to be nervous. I mean, I've done interviews and hired people myself in other positions, so I think that's something that everybody knows. It's just kind of how are you at handling that that pressure, I guess. But that's awesome that you have the interview. And good luck with it, for sure. You have to let me know how that turns out. I think scale is actually feeling pretty good for this, minus these buildings being kind of annoyingly in the way. I'm at the point where I'm almost ready to delete this anyways, so this won't be here much longer. Oh. Nick, did you start populating? Oh, you did. I didn't know. I haven't been running around in here all that much, so I didn't realize there's population starting to pop up in here. That's awesome. Again, always fun to watch the stuff slowly start to come alive. And now I understand why you're asking about adding in some of the Night Harbor stuff. Just some initial stuff. Yeah, I'll have to rough in some of the ruin geo for you at some point. After I finish up the main structures over here, I'll rough in some of that stuff. The problem with bringing that stuff directly in from the old Shaded Dunes is because it's in the blend file, I can't delete. I have to... It's going to take more time to clean up the blend file and export everything out individually than it's going to be just to sit here and rough it out in Pro Builder. So, I just need to get around to roughing out that area. Yeah, old mini crypt area. I was wondering if we should do Fallen Watch style entrance or the Zone to Nowhere entrance. You spruced up in the cliff. Yeah, I was I've thought about that too. Like, what do we want to do for that entrance? If are we still thinking about keeping it as a crypt theme? Because I think that'll go some way into what we want to do with that. Not sure. Yeah, I think thematically it'd probably be a good idea to figure out what we want to do with that, because if we want to keep it as like crypt themed, it might not be a terrible idea to go with like one of the cliff face tomb entrances on from Petra, so it ends up being kind of cut straight down. Oh, and I must have accidentally moved the terrain down, because I had that seam over there and now this seam is over here too, so I probably messed that up and did not notice it, and now I'm going to go and fix stuff. Let's see if I have to go fix this over here. Yep. Whoops. Let's fix that. Although I'm probably about to just send my character. Oops, did I go to Shaded Dunes? I did. Wow, it looks... it feels so different popping into the old zone than the new zone. Let's Snap that down. Snap that down. I think that should fix most of that without putting anybody's characters through the floor. Geo. Move that over here. Oh, that is floating. All of these are floating. I don't care about those because those are going to go away. I'm just worried more about the terrain areas. I think this is solvable in piece, yeah. That's part of the terrain again. Anywhere else? Have a hole. Okay, that should be fine. Okay. Looks good. If we fall through, the geo shouldn't be an issue anymore, as we teleport to a safe location in the zone now. Oh, nice! I didn't realize that had been implemented. So you're saying we're not going to fall through the world and land in the bottom of the zone with a bunch of mobs beating us up? Because that would be the true classic experience. Yeah, I remember that happening to me running between Kelthan and Butcher Block once, like right when I started playing. I had to get a GM to summon my body. Although I don't remember if there were mobs. I remember dying. I don't remember if I died to mobs or if I just died from falling. It's been so long. It was like 20 years ago now. Jesus. But yeah, so kind of towards the end of the stream, gonna do all my due diligence stuff. Let's go to my commands. So for anybody new to the stream, we are creating a indie MMO that is inspired by the classic kind of first generation, so late 99, early 2000s MMOs. You can think like EverQuest, Ultima Online, things like that. So we're, you know, really inspired, especially zone geo-wise, by EverQuest. So that first link is our website. You can learn more about the game there and find screenshots, stuff like that. Also learn about all the team members. We also have a Discord that's got like 700 some people in it now, so feel free to join the community. We have all sorts of discussions about, you know, game design, whether it's our game or other games, going on all the time, and some other stuff. So it's a real fun community to be a part in, or be a part of. If you want updates but don't want to join Discord, we have a mailing list, so you'll get any of our updates that we put out. Also, we send out some surveys occasionally, so if you wanted to submit your opinion when we are looking for what the community likes and things like that, join that for those. Also, our goal for the year is to try to get initial testers in here playing with the game with us, so that we can start to kind of test some of the more forward-facing client stuff and get people playing with us. And the mailing list will be part of that, I'm sure. So if you're interested, sign up to that. These are the other members of the team that are streaming. So we stream all sorts of different aspects of the game. Mine are primarily environment art, level design based stuff. Whether it's here in Unity roughing stuff out or refining stuff, or, you know, in Maya doing props, you know, kind of environment oriented. Sean's are game testing, kind of overview, showing off what we've been doing, type streams. Zukin does animation, he does character art, critter art, stuff like that. Goblin does concept art. He also does animation. He also does some modeling. Kind of does a little bit of everything. Although his streams, I think, are mostly concept based for the most part. And then Nick does Q&A and design work on his streams. And Ali hasn't really, I don't think he's streamed yet on Twitch, but he has been streaming on, or he had uploaded some videos to our YouTube, which I just put up the link to. So check those out and make sure to, like and subscribe and comment below and all that stuff to help us out with the YouTube algorithm. We appreciate all the support. Right now we don't have, we don't have a marketing campaign or anything going on, so it's all been organic, but word of mouth style growth. So it's always fun to see you guys kind of spreading the word and kind of watching it organically grow. So we appreciate all the follows and all the support there for sure. But other than that, this is the marketing campaign. Well, yeah, I guess to some degree this is the marketing campaign, but we're not like taking out ads, I guess is what I'm saying. There's no budget to the marketing campaign. It's all organic at this point. But yeah, so again, if you are watching the VODs on YouTube and you want to partake in the chat, which should be on the screen. Oh my god, is it not on the screen? Oh my, whoops, I apologize. I don't know. No, it should be there. It's not showing up on my screen, but it should be there. I don't know what happened to my my settings on Streamlabs, but whatever. But if you want to partake in the chat, make sure to join my Twitch stream. I stream Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Wednesdays usually around 1. So, like today, I might start a little bit earlier, depending. So follow along there if you want to hop into the chat and talk with us. Love to have you. But other than that, that's going to be my stream for today, guys. Thank you, Eddie Chi1, for the follow. Appreciate it. And I will catch you guys on Monday. I may try to get some extra streams in next week to make up for not making last Monday's stream, or this Monday's stream. But I'll play it by ear. So you may get some surprise streams over like a lunch or something like that on a day that no one else is streaming. But later, guys. I'm gonna head out.